Uh, if you look at the technological advancements and increased productivity, hello, am I clear? Am I
Yes,
audible?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are clear and audible, sir.
Slide is visible.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So, when we talk about the technological advancement and increased productivity, because we all know that we need to progress. So it means major changes for careers of today as well. If you look at the world economy, the world economy would be double in size by they say by 2050. जो आज की economy है वो double हो जाएगी by 2050, and this is because of the continuous technology driven product improvements and innovations. So when we talk about the technology driven product innovations, these technologies, where are they developed? They are developed either in the campuses, they are developed either through research and innovations, or they are developed in industries. So there is a report according to the new World Economic Forum. Now it reports that nearly 140 million new jobs will be created by 2028. How many? 140 million new jobs. It also says that more than 80 million jobs would be displaced. They would be displaced by artificial intelligence, automation, robotics, blockchain, IoT, and so forth. All of you know about these things, which are the talk of today's technology. So new innovations are happening everywhere as new technologies are being developed and new jobs are being created. So the few fundamental outcomes of innovations, as you all know, the first important thing which I already told is the economic growth. We cannot progress, the society cannot progress, the region cannot progress, the nation cannot progress, the globe, the whole universe, the whole world cannot progress until there is an economic growth. So those who are economists, they would be better to tell you that how important, what are the parameters of this economic growth, and how do we measure the economic growth of a country. But for us as technical people, we have to understand that innovations and research, they play a major role in today's economic growth. So this is one of the fundamental outcome of innovations. Once you're innovating something, you are creating some value, right? You are developing some new product or a process, and you are commercializing it, you are selling it, you are adding to the economic growth. Increased well-being and communication, of course. So when we look at the standard of living, when we look at the people living a good life, enjoying the amenities, enjoying the gadgets, enjoying the facilities which have been given by today's technology, this results in increase of well-being and communication. So COVID-19 was a major event which happened, and then the aftermath of COVID-19 gave us new ways of communication. And if COVID would not have been there, it might be that you and me today would not be interacting in this way. So that's how exactly innovations are playing a major role in establishing good communication channels across the globe, and now people across the globe are connected with the help of innovations. Look at the educational accessibility and environmental sustainability. Now, these are very important, and the gray areas where a lot of people like you, students, technocrats, researchers, innovators are working, that how environment sustainability has to be built up, because we talk about carbon footprints today, we talk about greenhouse effects, we talk about environmental depletion. So the sustainability of environment is a very major issue of today, and there are people who are working, and innovations play a very, very important role, both in educational accessibility, in providing educational accessibility to children across the world, and the environmental sustainability. And the fourth important thing why innovations are, of course, we look at the medical science, how there are mind-boggling innovations which are happening around, and then you must have read about, you must have heard about the robotic surgeries. Doctor is in US and he's performing a surgery in this other part of the world. So the innovations which are happening in pharmaceutical industries, the innovations which are happening, in the medical appliances, the basic aim is to reduce sicknesses. Look at the COVID. When the COVID occurred, it happened in 2019 and 20. So one of the biggest innovation where innovators were working was to produce a vaccine. And then after the vaccine was innovated, it really relieved us. Millions and millions of vaccinations were developed by different pharmaceutical industries. And then Covishield and Covaxin came in India. And then thousands, lakhs and millions of people got vaccinated, and that's how exactly it improved the immunity of people. And then we presently we are almost out of it. I hope that fingers crossed that it is totally eliminated. But there will be pandemics in the future. You see, we have to be prepared, and innovations are the only solution which can help to reduce sicknesses. Poverty is another area which all of you know that without increasing the productivity, without improving the standard of living, we won't be able to decrease the poverty. But again, there are arguments, that 1% people control the 99% of the wealth, whereas there's no equal distribution of the wealth. That's a different area, but still we have to agree that elevation in the poverty would be a result of innovations. When people will start innovating, they will be developing new businesses, new business activities, economic activities would take place. There will be more jobs which would be created, more number of people would work, and that is how poverty problems would be taken care of. Hunger, of course, this is related to poverty. So if you look at the innovations and the futures of jobs, it's very important. Now, I'll just give you A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. That's the future jobs, the innovations in the future technologies. We call them as the future and emerging technologies. So what is A? So just remember the students who are listening to me. A, artificial intelligence. B, blockchain. So these are the future jobs. C, what is C? Who can tell me what is C? Anybody? Yeah. I'll give you this assignment. Any student? Are the students listening to me? Yeah, think of the future technologies which start with C. I'll go to D. What is D? Data analytics. So a lot of
C, cloud computing.
Cloud computing, very good. Cloud computing and anything else which you remember, you can please unmute yourself and share your thoughts. E, extended reality, energy solutions, electronics. F, full stack developer. G, gamification, GitHub. H, HTML5, and I, Internet of Things, IoT. So these, in India also, if you look at these A to I, there would be about 1 crore jobs which the government is aiming to develop within the next decade. So 1 crore jobs. So those are the jobs of the future. And as I told you, there will be millions of jobs which would be out of the market. which would be irrelevant. So as students, it is very, very important for us, the new students, the school students, they too have to know that which direction they have to get their education, uh, what things are relevant and what things fastly they are becoming irrelevant. They are becoming irrelevant because of innovations. There are new innovations which are happening. Let's give me let me give an example. If you look at the artificial intelligence, I would be throwing some light maybe after a few slides that how these future innovative technologies are used to create jobs. But for us, it's very important to look what is becoming relevant and what is becoming irrelevant. Say, for example, you all know that these ATMs, we have ATMs. Every ATM has a camera. You know, every ATM has a camera fitted inside it to keep a watch. Who is coming? What is being happening? Now, let's say, for example, there is a ATM theft. A dacoity is taking place, and when a thief visits a particular ATM during the night, he breaks into it. The camera is recording. It's recording. It's doing nothing but it is recording. Maybe this guy doesn't know where the camera is, or maybe he knows about it, but he has covered his face and he is not feeling threatened that this camera is going to do anything. So he performs the act, breaks the locker, takes the money and runs away. But what is the camera doing? The camera is just watching. Now look at the artificial intelligence, how AI, how people, how innovators are now, using the concepts of artificial intelligence in designing these cameras. They are making them smart. Hello? Hello? Danish?
Sir.
Is it clear? Everything is okay?
Yes, sir. Everything was good.
Okay. So what AI is doing, it's making this camera very smart. It's training this camera, with a model. It's trying to train this camera that whenever somebody who looks different, who acts differently, who has a different body language, whose intentions are not as the normal ATM users, this camera is trained to capture the image, process the image, and recognize that the guy who has entered into the ATM has an intention to do dacoity. So what it does, that's how we call it a smart camera, and everything is done. People from computer science departments, if we have some students, they would appreciate that how exactly this smart camera is would be able to capture, raise an alarm before the dacoity is performed, just based upon the image processing. The concepts of artificial intelligence, where the image which is captured is processed with a model fitted with this camera, and then it's able to prevent a theft. So what I mean to say is the normal cameras would go irrelevant, and the new technologies, the new cameras, which are smart cameras, which have been programmed, which have been trained, there is a model which is connected to it that would be used to, would replace the cameras of the ATM. So this is how exactly the innovations and the future jobs have to be understood. Let's go to the next slide. Now this slide shows as the entrepreneurial process. So all of you should remember, whether you in the future you want to take entrepreneurship as your careers, you want to take startups, the first important thing is that we have to recognize an opportunity. So there are opportunities. There are thousands of opportunities. Opportunities are always there. If opportunities are not there, innovations would not happen. The status quo has is irrelevant in innovations, because since the inception of the mankind, what we have seen, what we have witnessed, that there are always improvements. There are improvements, and I'm sure till the doomsday, we will be improving and new technologies would be developing, new innovations would happen. So opportunity recognition is very, very important. So Dr. Dinesh is going to tell you something about the design thinking. So design thinking is a basic, model which has been developed, which starts from empathy and how opportunities have to be recognized through our design thinking approach, and how opportunities have to be seen around us as technical people, as students, as innovators, as people who study science and technology. Then once an opportunity is recognized, the second step is to develop that opportunity. So opportunity development is again the design thinking process which Dr. Dinesh will be talking about. He would explain you the process in which such opportunities which have been recognized around us, they are developed, they are taken into our labs, and then they are incubated. There's the process of incubation, which currently we are also a part of it. I hope that SSM colleges also, they have an incubation center. So this is in incubation, where we are trying to handhold, we are trying to give mentorship, we are trying to develop that ideas, we are trying to refine and combine ideas to develop a tangible product or a service or a process. So value creation is the last part of it. So this is the entrepreneurial process which need to be kept in mind. Now, when we talk about the technology innovations, there is a very important ABC of technology and innovation, which should be in your mind. The first important A is the attitude. If you don't have a positive attitude, you will not be able to innovate. So attitude basically makes a difference. You will agree with me that people who are innovators, although we say that innovators are the people who can do, who think they can do, they experiment, they keep on performing, they fail, they fall down, they step up, they again stand up, they again work, they again continue to do what they are doing. So that's the attitude. So positive attitude is the crux of the matter. If that attitude is not positive, we will not be able to do anything new. The second important thing is behavior. Behavior. If I ask you a question, why the Western societies are far ahead in technology and innovations? Why Japan is far ahead? Why China has become, very recently, it has really crossed many Western nations, and it has really, a lot of innovations are happening in China. It's becoming one of the most strong economies of the globe today. The basic reason is the behavior. After attitude, the behavior is very, very important. So what sort of behavior, people of these sub-Asian countries lack? We lack inclusiveness. We lack to work in collaborations. We are, unfortunately, I use this word, we are selfish. I want to do something for me only. But on the other hand, the people in the West, they are inclusive. They work in team. They collaborate. There is a lot of network which they have built up. They love working in team and move ahead. So the behavior is a very important component of technology and innovations. And the culture. The culture has to be built up, a creative and entrepreneurial culture. Again, you see, India is now coming up with a culture of innovations, because if you look at our education system, the new education policies, the new innovation policies of the education ministry, they are really trying to inculcate a culture of innovations. That's what we call as a culture or ecosystem, which I told in the beginning. So we are really catching up, but still then, if I look at this region where your and my institutions are located, we really have to go a long way. That culture has to be built up. Keep on become becoming creative. Talk about creativeness. Know what creativity is. Let our education systems, our schools, our colleges be creative in nature. Let's the students, the teachers, all of us, we have some kind of creativeness. We boost creativeness in our process of education. So once a good culture is there, that means a creative culture, and then we have to leave the typical mentality of job seekers. You know, if I ask you, अगर आपके SSM में if you have about 2,000 students, if I ask them, 90%, 95% of them will tell that we are taking degrees to obtain a job. That's a fact. Even in NIT, in most of our colleges, our schools, we keep on traveling, we keep on asking them. So they say that we want to study, we want to take education because we want jobs. But on the other hand, if you look at the Western people, a majority of them would say that no, we want to do something of our own. We study, it's good, but we want to start our own businesses. We want to start our own startups. So these ABCs are very, very important. I hope that the students today who are associated with this impact lecture, they carry with them the ABCs, which are the attitude, the behavior, and the culture promoting the technology and innovations of today. Now, the question is, how do we measure the health of a nation, the innovation health of a nation? One answer which I can get from all of you is that, sir, it's the number of patents. If you look at the patents which were granted across the globe, we find that from 1977 to 2015, this is a small data which I have. Look at the number of patents granted. In US, it was about 57.5 lakhs. Whereas in India, during this period, it was only less than 18,000 patents were granted in India. Japan is a small country, about 10.5 lakhs. Germany, it's again a small country as compared to India. South Korea, Taiwan are very small countries. UK is a very small country, but look at the number of patents. They are very, very high as compared to China. Was, till 2015, it was not doing well, but in the last one decade, it has really come up, and the number of patents which today that country is filing is far, far ahead as compared to even US. Now, this is the data for 2016. Again, you find that in the single year, the ranking of the 10 countries who filed the most international patent applications. So it was about 56.5 thousand in US, whereas if you look at India, it's hardly less than 1600. Now, this is recently 2019 data. The overall patents filed, it is USPTO around the world. In the whole world, it was in 2019 3,92,616, and the major contributors was the US, followed by Japan, and then if you look at India, it was only 1,218. And this is the reason why, if you look, there's a lot of emphasis. The government of today is really giving a lot of emphasis on filing patents. So that's why patents are becoming a very, very important, indicators of a healthy nation, of an innovative society where people are doing something. They are trying to find out out-of-box solutions. They are working to develop new technologies and new innovations, filing patents. But filing patents doesn't only mean that we are commercial, we are adding to economy. No, this patent actually has to be percolated in commercial activities. So the success of the whole process, which starts from creativity down to entrepreneurship, the success goes when a patent is converted into a technology, into a product, into a process, or a service, and there are users. And two important things: the sustainability is very, very important. The scalability, so how well you are able to scale your technologies, your innovations. With time, you keep on adding something more, and you have to sustain, because of the stiff competition in the market. Your product, your innovation is sustaining. So those are some of the indicators which need to be kept in mind. So the take of this slide is that even our students, our faculty members should file patents, come up with new technologies, and build up a process of obtaining, filing patent, and then taking these innovations to the market, like commercializing them. Now, next few slides would be giving you a glimpse of few local problems and entrepreneurial or startup opportunities which we find in the valley, because both of these institutions are located in the valley. The first important thing is, let's solve our own problems. So what are the problems? Now look at this. Look at this. I want someone from the students to tell me what's happening.
Seed sowing.
Very good. Seed sowing. What's your name?
Ajaz Hussain.
You are from?
Incubating in NIT Srinagar.
Incubating in? Oh, Ajaz. 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 कैसे हैं आप? ठीक है. I'm sorry.
Alhamdulillah, sir. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, seed sowing. Seed sowing. This is seed sowing. How do we sow seed? How do we sow seeds in Kashmir? Mostly it's hand sowing. It's hand sowing, as you can see from this figure. Now, what is the opportunity? Where does the opportunity lies? The opportunity lies, can this process be developed in a more effective way? Can automation play its role? Can some technology be developed where the work of this farmer is eased? Because we find that this guy has to sow seed, he has to bend himself, and it's a very cumbersome process. If it's raining or it's a sunny day, he would be left with no option but to do the process, but in a very inconvenient way. So let's find out. And with this, the problem, there was one innovator by the name of Naik Qayyum. Most of you must have heard about it. He keeps on traveling to campuses. He keeps on talking. He's one of our incubatee who came up with an idea that, sir, can we develop a seed sowing machine, a frugal seed sowing machine? Because if you look at the technology is already there. In Western countries, they are using some technology for seed sowing. But the problem is that those seed sowing machines are very expensive. So he came up with a design. Dr. Dinesh is helping him. He is associated with us. I keep on talking to him, and then we came up with this prototype. The POC is already ready. The prototype is about to get completed. So it's a seed sowing machine which has been innovated by Naik Qayyum. It's a very good machine which would be very convenient to use by the farmers. And we gave him the now I would tell you how do we incubate. So he joined us as an incubatee in IID center of our institute. Then there was a scheme, the MSME scheme, support for entrepreneurial and managerial developments of MSMEs through incubation. So our institute has established a business incubation hub at NIT Srinagar with the help of the ministry, MSME ministry. They gave us some financial grant. So this is one, idea for which the grant has been used. About 15 lakh rupees was given to develop this technology. And I'm happy to share that this technology is already about to get completed. Within few days, we will be completing the prototype. And then there will be some testing which would be done. And the aim is to commercialize this product. I am sorry I don't have the figure with me, but next time I can show you, let it get completed. So this is one problem, this opportunity where someone came forward to find a solution. Now what is this? Students from SSM. Students from SSM should tell, please.
Saffron harvesting.
Very good. Mohammed Rian,
Yes, sir.
आप कहाँ की? You are from SSM. Which semester?
Sir, I'm currently in 7th semester.
Branch.
Sir, computer science.
Very good. So you are a potential innovator. Computer science is, there are a lot of computer science students who want to do something, develop some app, solve some problem. Very good. This is a saffron which is being cultivated. Now another technology is being developed, is being incubated, and this the problem was given by one student of NIT who is presently doing his PhD, Tariq Ahmed. Tariq Ahmed is a student, so he pitched his idea under this scheme, and his idea was selected by the National Expert Committee of MSME, and again 50 lakh rupees was given to develop his product, which is almost developed. Another 1 month we will be coming up with that machine. So that machine would actually, after this cultivation is over, it has to go through some process, the process of combing, the process of cutting, the process of packaging, the process of segregating them into various size, because the saffron is used for different applications. It's used for medical purposes. It's used for as a spice. As a spice, we can use it for food processing also, for medicine purpose also. So that segregation at the current moment, it's being done manually. So this guy Tariq Ahmed, who is one of the incubators of NIT Srinagar, he came up with an idea. Sir, can we develop a machine? And for the last 2 years, he is incubating his idea, and I'm again happy to tell you that a very good machine has been developed. A machine which can perform these process of combing operation, segregating, cutting, packaging. There's a machine which has a conveyor also, and it was a very difficult technology to develop, because lot of engineering had to go in developing these machines. The application of force, how to cut it, so rollers had to be used, what sort of materials have to be used. So all the engineering and product development, design and engineering was performed with the help of his few mentors. Dr. Noor Zaman Khan is one of his mentors. There were other mentors also. We connected him to the national level mentors in Jamia Millia. There's a professor who is into manufacturing technologies. He also helped him. So this technology is almost ready, and his machine would very soon be launched. And again, we are looking how to commercialize. So again, this problem of saffron processing is taken care by this machine. Now, this all of us know, Apple. So horticulture again is an area where a lot of innovations are happening. I know that someone from SSM college must be doing some innovations. I have been told, I have also seen that many students from the mechanical department of SSM college, when they come up with their projects, they have very good projects, and those projects actually solve the problems of the society. But I don't know what happened to those technologies, those projects which they don't carry it forward. I know, because the process is still lacking. The process in our campuses is not streamlined, which can help those BTech projects to get commercialized. First to obtain the patent, and after the patent is obtained, to percolate down to the societies as a product for its use, intended use. But looking at this slide, the idea which came to one of our computer science students, Izan Majid, who just completed his BTech from NIT Srinagar. So he told that, sir, ये जो सेब होता है, there are multiple problems with apple and with other fruits also. The problem is that there is no technology which can detect an onset of a disease. An onset of a disease. So he worked to develop a model using artificial intelligence, AI. He trained a model, and by using the image processing, by fitting cameras in these orchards, those cameras will capture the image of leaves when the fruit just starts budding, and that image would be transformed to this application, to this model, which is a mobile model, and through image processing we would be able to determine that whether there is a disease which is about to occur in apples. And if our model has been trained in such a way by using the artificial intelligence principles, which people belonging to the computer science can tell me in a better way. So he has developed a mobile app. By the name of his company is Ambur. So this is one problem which he is solving. So detection of an onset of a disease in fruits. This is number one. And then his app would always provide information to the farmers, to the fruit growers, weather warnings. It would also connect him directly to the buyers. So all the intermediates would be bypassed. So he would be connected to the buyers directly by using his app. And then whenever there's a inclement weather or there's the forewarning, that would be given to the farmers through this app, which at the farmer end also they are using smartphones. So they will come to know that tomorrow there is going to be a hailstorm, kindly take some corrective actions. So this is how exactly the students are thinking, and this is how exactly you have to think. Look at this problem. Another problem. I have been talking about this problem in all my presentations. This is our typical Kandur. Look at his pathetic condition. The smoke, the dingy environment around him. And it has been found that because these smoke which are emitted in his tandoor, they get lung problems, lung diseases. They are very, very common to these Kandurs. So what have we done? What have we innovated? So this idea has all been pitched at the national level, in this MSME idea challenge 2022. I hope that if it is selected, then I would not hesitate to involve some students from the SSM college to come and join if we have the financial assistance and come up with some new ideas to solve the problem of our Kandur. The wood is becoming very expensive. He has to burn this wood early morning, and in winters it's all wet. The efficiency is very low. There is too much of smoke which is generated. Can we design a chimney? Can we design a ventilation system? Can we have some heat exchanger so that we can capture some heat which leaves the which is emitted into the atmosphere through this smoke? Can we have a heat exchanger which can take heat and give it back to the tandoor? Can we redesign the tandoor? So these are some of the problems which we have to take into consideration and come up with new technologies. Again, this is a problem where very common in this is a walnut tree. A walnut tree is a very huge tree. So generally, when the harvesting seasons come, people have to climb up the tree with the long rod sticks, and they beat the bushes so that the walnut falls down. And during this harvesting season, if you go to the Bones and Joint Hospital, you will find hundreds of youth, hundreds of people, come with fractured bones because they fall down during this process of harvesting, when they have to, take the walnut from the tree. This is the only process which are available. If you look, how do we do it in the West? So in West, you will find that there are shakers, big machines. So what the machines do, they catch hold of this tree and they shake the tree. They shake, and they have a net which is fitted at the bottom. So all the tree, all the other fruit, say the walnut, they fall on this net. They are collected very systematically, but this is very expensive. Maybe the shaker costs in lakhs of rupees, and these poor farmers cannot afford that much of money. Some kind of solution had to be developed. So it's students like you, the engineering students, they have to make groups. They have to come up, talk to different experts, talk to your professors, talk to these fruit growers. That what could be a frugal solution which can eliminate this problem. And this is one problem which we solved when we witnessed the corona in 2019. The whole supply chain was disturbed. The whole supply chain, we all know that the whole, not only the country, but the whole universe, the whole globe was in curfew. Every place we had find that curfews were there. The ventilators were short. The PPEs were not available. So at that time, what we did, NIT Srinagar, our center, we played a very, major role in finding solutions to the typical problems which had arisen during the onset of coronavirus. So we found that our society, the Kashmiris, are very, very innovative, very, very innovative. Without a supply chain, without a IC being transported from any other part, they created their own ventilators, they created their own gadgets, they created their own dispensers, they created their own, PPEs in a very innovative way, and then they came up with technologies which were really mind-boggling, and it was appreciated by all. So these are some of the items which were developed during the corona initially, when there's many ventilators which were developed. So we do have this society, the Kashmiri society, we do have a culture of reusing and repurposing. That's very important. And we not only that, we have to ensure that whatever we develop has a frugality, because costs are important. So the frugality has to be there through secondary innovation processes. And then this also gave us a very important understanding that innovation is ubiquitous. Anyone can do innovations. It's only the mindset, the ABC which we talked about. If the ABC are in place, we would be able to do a lot of innovations. And then the positive thing is that now a lot of things are available from the open source platforms. So technological self-reliance is the crux of the matter. We need to be technological self-reliant. Institutions like University of Kashmir, SSM, NIT, Central University, Agriculture, SCOST is there, SKIMS is there. So people have to come forward, they have to join hands. And then if we want to, boost the economy of this region, if we want to become self-reliant, innovations is the only solution. There is no other solution. We have to create value. We have to create value. So at the end, the design thinking, as I was telling you, Dr. Dinesh would be talking about design thinking. So 5 stages of design thinking. It's very important that you need to empathize. If you are not empathetic about the surroundings, you will not be able to innovate. You then, after you empathize, you define the user's need and what are the problems, and then you ideate, do some brainstorming, come up with assumptions, challenge those assumptions, create ideas, develop the prototypes, develop the POCs, test and try your solution. So this is design thinking which we will be talking about. Dr. Dinesh will be talking about. I've just given you a small glimpse. I think my time is over. So the very in last 1 minute, I'll go through the remaining part. The National Innovation and Startup Policy. I would like the faculty members and the students of SSM College, as well as those who are from NIT who are listening to this presentation, just go through this National Innovation and Startup Policy and see how it is favorable for the students and the faculty members who are into I&E ecosystems. You have a wonderful, policy guidelines which would include 1% of the institute's total budget should be diverted towards IND activities. And then if you want to become an innovator as a student or as a faculty also, there should be some credits for working on the innovative prototypes and business models. Some academic breaks have to be given, some semester breaks have to be given. All your projects which you have to do, which you are doing pertaining to innovations, they should have some credits available. So once you become a startup, once you have an idea, so if you're using the resources of your institutions, incubation centers, there's an equity of 2 to 9.5%, which is the Ministry of Education, the innovation cell of that ministry is telling that we should not have more than 2 to 9.5% of equity. Ownership of the IPR would be given to innovator, and then services to be offered by the institutions that would be in lieu of equity, fee-based or zero payment model. So these are some of the schemes which are very, very important. I would request your management, the people, the faculty members of SSM also, to please avail these schemes. Try to read about them, apply, because every year these governments are asking for proposals. So you can also develop proposals. Your Ministry of MSME, we have a MSME support as a design expertise, and number second is the innovation incubation projects. So DST, now I'm also very happy to share that NIT Srinagar and SQUAS, these are the two universities who have recently obtained the national innovation national initiative for developing and harnessing innovations. The NIDI scheme is there, so we will be in the coming future will be supporting 30 startups. We'll be giving seed money to them also. Seed money from 2 to 10 lakh rupees will be given. We'll be accommodating them as startups in NIT Srinagar for 2 years. So they would develop the technologies, the innovations, and then after they establish their companies, they develop the businesses. Of course, they have to give equity to us, and then they would get all sort of technical support, hand holding, mentorship from NIT Srinagar. Then the third scheme is a NEET scheme, Nidhi Aayog, Stand Up India is there, Innovation for Defense Excellence Index Initiative, this bio incubator, nurturing entrepreneurs for scaling technologies, these schemes are there. So with those words, I thank you very much. And then with the last suggestion that please give a very serious note to innovations in your campus. That's very important. Involve students, involve faculty members, develop that ecosystem, keep on talking about it, do some idea challenges. I'm sure that you are about to go for an idea challenge very soon. So wish you all the best. You have any questions? I think 2 minutes for question answers before I hand over to Dr. Dinesh Kumar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. The participants would have got a very good insight about what entrepreneurship is like, what are the opportunity in Valley, as well as they would have even understood too many things about how the system can actually work on, and you have even explained them about what are the projects we have taken off. So over to the participants. If you have any questions, you can ask the professor. Participants, any queries you can put to professor.
I think they don't have any question right now. So Dinesh, you can continue your session, please.
Yes, sir. If you have any queries, you can post in chat box as well. So later on we can discuss on that stuffs. Now I'll start my session on design thinking. I'll share my screens. Is my screen visible, sir?
No, no, not yet, sir. Someone is writing a question, can't we use drone technology? Yeah, drone technology can be used, but there are some regulatory issues in J&K. But I think this is one of the innovations which are happening worldwide. Even in NIT Srinagar, we are supporting one MSME who has manufactured drone. There is some innovations going on currently. So those drones which we are using would be used for disaster management and wildlife control. So drone is a very good, technology for innovations. Saffron harvesting. Okay, how does new innovation is better than drone technology in seed sowing? New invention is better than drone technology. Now, drone technology has a different role. Drones are used for seed sowing. Drone might be very expensive in using this, and the results by seeds sowing the seeds using drone, I am not too sure about it. What would be the results? But it's a good idea. You can use drone technology for seed sowing. It's a very good idea. I think this is asked by Tadi. Kamani Tadi, yeah. Drones, maybe now look into how drones can be used for seed sowing. So, very good idea. Please develop it. Yes, sir.
Can we start?
It's visible.
Shall I start with the presentation, sir? Hello?
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay, sir. It was a wonderful session from Sat Professor. Like I have given the detailing of what is entrepreneurship, like how that actually changes everything and how that can touch us people life. Now I'm going to give you an introduction about design thinking, how actually you can start with your startup or